Hallo und herzlich willkommen zur Industry.forward EXPO. Ich bin Dana Neitzke vom Publish Industry Verlag und Ihre Moderatorin heute für den Vortrag OT and IT Datenkommunikation by One Device. Da bin ich natürlich nicht alleine. Bei mir hier darf ich heute begrüßen Jean-Paul Verheelewagen, Global Sales MD Connect Line von Red Line Controls. Hello, Jean-Paul. Nice of you to be here today.
Hello, Dana. Good seeing you.
So, und damit war es dann auch schon von mir. Jean-Paul, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of this virtual audience. So thank you for joining this webinar today. For the next 20-30 minutes, we're going to talk about IoT. Funny word, IoT, isn't it? When you think of it, you take IT, you take OT, you smash them together, and you have an IoT thing. If you smash them real hard, then it makes IIoT a bit more personal. So in this context, what do I have to say about IoT? Well, I joined our industry something like 15, 20 years ago. For the records, that was when the major suppliers were pushing us to migrate from semi-proprietary serial networks to an integrated Ethernet architecture. And that had many advantages to switch to IT, easier integration, better and easier communication. And today, it's all about the cloud. But IoT, in my views, it's not about a cloud. It's about creating value. That may involve a cloud for sure, but that depends a lot on what is it that you want to do, what is useful for you. When I engage in conversations with people about IIoT, some people have no project, just looking at what IIoT can do for them. And that's okay. But IoT, it's a tool concept. It's like a Swiss Army knife. You need to know what value you want to create, what will be useful to you. And then we can see if the tool can do what you want. Some people have an idea. They have an idea, but they don't know exactly how to translate that idea into a project. They're looking for options. The third type of people that I meet, and this is where I believe many IoT projects get stuck, those people have formalized what they want to do. They are looking for options, and now they feel concerned. They feel concerned, and it's always the same showstoppers that I see. It's too complicated. They fear to see the project going out of control, and they fear about the actual return they may get on their effort. Will the project keep its promises? Will people adopt it? There's too many unknowns on which they feel that they have no control. As long as this is not fixed, many projects will remain dormant. It's not that our industry is conservative. It can jump quickly on opportunities, see the rapid adoption of IT in the industry. It's not that we cannot take risks. It's just that in our industry, and that's a specific of our industry, we cannot afford that those risks go out of control. So people need to feel reassured. They need to be able to secure their projects themselves so that they can secure the risks. And I see basically two parts in an IoT project. The first part is about data acquisition. It's about sourcing the relevant data from the right sources in the right components. You need to deal here with a variety of devices and communication protocols. It's a typical OT world. You're in the OT world, and you need to go the OT way. And there's a fairly big learning curve to step into that world. The other part is about creating value out of the data and about distributing it to those who will use and benefit from it. That involve by nature IT competencies. It's not for the data creation, if not for the data creation with tools in a cloud, at least for the value distribution to present the data in a format that will be easily understood, like tables or dashboards, and also to give user the access to the formatted data. That is where I see the technology gap. People with an OT profile may feel not so confident venturing in the IT part, and people with an IT profile being not so confident to venture into components of the production system. So how do we deal with a technology gap? Well, basically, I see three options, and if you allow me, I will illustrate them with a family story. My brother lives on the other side of the Atlantic. He settled with the family under the Florida sunshine, and about 20 years ago, we offered our mother a laptop so she could get emails, see pictures, and occasionally converse with them. And that's where the technology gap appeared. So she went through all the stages that I mentioned on this slide. She brought in experts, and that cost me a lot of support time. I tried to train her, but indeed, where do I start? It took a long time for a poor result, so maybe I'm not a good teacher. And then one day, years later, we bought her an iPad, and that was a relief for everybody. So what we see here is that the right tool kills the hidden costs and simplifies the job. It just closed the technology gap. And that's exactly the same thing that I see in our industry, whether it is for IT security on the factory floor, or if it is for IoT projects, cloud projects. At Redline Controls, we believe in empowering OT staff with the capabilities to secure by themselves the way they use the network and the way they communicate. The product that we supply harness the complexity of the IT technologies involved, and they offer to OT users a comprehensive interface so that configuring the tools to use the IT technologies becomes easy. So welcome to Redline Controls. What do? We connect you with your data. We make panel meters, we make HMIs, we make edge gateways, we make industrial switches and routers. We have solutions to access, connect, and visualize your data. Our products are meant to close the OT IT technology gap, whether it is for data communication or for security. And talking about data communication, let me introduce you FlexEdge. FlexEdge is a very versatile device. It is meant to be your standard solution that you can rely on for every IoT situation. The hardware is modular. There is Wi-Fi, 4G, Ethernet, as you can see. There's even a CAN module. It can be expanded with IOs, and it is designed for industrial environment. The software that you use to configure it, well, that software, I'm now 15 years in our industry. It's the most finished and integrated OT configuration software I have seen so far for similar devices. The software is a PC application, and it creates a runtime that you upload on the device, pretty much in the same way like you would do with a PLC. So the nice thing with that software is that all the data services are seamlessly integrated. You can acquire data from hundreds of different OT devices in their own original communication protocol. You can convert the data. You can process it on the device. You can then upload it to a cloud. And I mean, not just the generic MQTT configuration thing. We have designed dedicated connectors for common cloud services. So you just need to fill the blanks to get your data transfer operational. Alternatively, you can run several services on the device itself, like dashboards, alarms, reports. The device can also be accessed remotely, all in a secured and easy way. So all those services are available locally or from remote. And you can even decide the sort of services you want available locally and you want available from remote. So let me give you a quick impression of how the configuration software looks like. Well, the layout resembles a PLC programming software with all the general functionalities. But then you select your hardware and you start configuring the ports for external communication. It's also about the serial interfaces. And you can see already a few of the cloud connectors as well. And there are about 300 different drivers, Ethernet and serial, to choose from just for data acquisition. And then you proceed with the tag definition, the processing, the alarms, basically all the services you need to run on the unit. And you can already configure the connector for the cloud service of your choice. And it's all integrated, so the setup goes really fast. So my recommendation for today is go ahead, try it. That software is a jewel, so feel free to download it and see for yourself. The QR code here will give you the link in reference at the bottom of the page, and it will direct you to the download page. So I'll leave that slide a few more moments so you can pull out your smartphone and scan the QR code. All right. Now, FlexEdge is not alone, and I would say not alone anymore. To complete its ecosystem, Redline Controls acquired MB Connect Line, a previously family-owned German company with a focus on addressing OT/IT security integration for remote access. We all know that remote access is used or was designed for making it easy and convenient for the user. IT security, well, in the early days, it was not the priority. It has become in the past 15 years. And MB Connect Line special approach of IT security to go by the book is the key value of the MB solution. And we are now working on integrating the MB Connect Line products with the whole of the Red Lion offering. So the complete solution then is composed of a remote services server as a service or as an encrypted virtual machine that you can run in complete autonomy with lots of tools for setup, operation, and maintenance of your remote IoT application. So we call it FlexEdge for a reason. when it is integrated in its ecosystem, you really have a universal solution for all of your IoT projects, from the data acquisition to operations and remote service. We already integrated OT and IT, so you can focus on creating IoT value. Thank you. So would you have any further question? Well, feel free to ask now, or don't hesitate to contact me later. It will be my pleasure to answer. And don't forget, follow us for more on redlion.net. Thank you.
We've got two questions to the software, actually. One of them is asking, what operation program does it run on? Is any, or does it need a specific one?
All right. The hardware runs on embedded Linux, but users do not have access to the operating system. It is Crimson, our configuration software, that will create a runtime, upload the runtime on the device, and you will basically interact with the runtime.
Okay. I hope that answers that.
We're looking at further opening the device, but still in a controlled way.
Okay. Another one who wants to know, is the test version free of charge? Want to download it, but wasn't sure.
The software is available from our website. We will not charge for it. It creates runtimes for our hardware.
Okay. And we've got a question for the hardware, actually. Is it compatible with any other producers' products, or are there blocked ones, or especially compatible ones?
It depends what you want to do. But if it is for acquiring data, Redlion controls come from a background creating HMIs. So the library of drivers to communicate with other devices is rather huge. We're talking here of about 300 protocols to communicate, even with history devices. So there is that makes a lot of different devices.
Okay.
It's a little bit the one of the message that I wanted to convey. It's really a universal solution. You can standardize on this solution, and whatever situation you will see in the field, in the OT part of your IoT project, the device and the software should be able to handle it.
It's good. And we've actually got a follow-up question on the one before about the Linux system, because the user is wondering if he can integrate data, older data from his older devices onto it, despite it being a different operation system.
The runtime that will run on the device will fetch the data from whatever other system. So the data will be read into the third-party component and will be imported in the runtime on the Flex Edge. It can be stored on the Flex Edge. It can be then uploaded to a cloud, to a server, to something, a database. It's very flexible in the sources, but it's also very flexible in the destination, and there can be processing, there can be services on the unit. You would be able to process the data and present them on dashboards available from remote. You will be able to run reports on the data, trigger alarms, and run those services either on your central application or on the device directly. Compatible with third party, I would say, yeah, contact me. Let's talk about your project, and we'll see. The spontaneous answer would be yes, probably. Let's talk.
Yeah, I think we actually put your mailing address into the description of the video of the session. So anybody who wants to contact, of course, can contact. So well, I think that is it. It completes our session actually. So thank you again for being here and for holding your presentation here. Und danke an unsere Zuschauer, dass sie uns die Fragen auch fleißig gestellt haben und zugehört haben. Und damit wünsche ich Ihnen noch einen wunderschönen Tag und noch viel Spaß im weiteren Verlauf unserer Expo. Goodbye.
Thank you.